In this video, we're going to look at the trigonometry addition formulae. So these are some formulas which help us to find sine, cos and tan of different angles added and subtracted. Let's have a look. All right, so what we're going to develop in this video is some formulas which help us expand brackets like sine of one angle plus another angle. In fact, we're going to look at plus or minus, but we'll come to that later, and cos of one angle plus or minus a different angle, and even tan of one angle plus or minus some other angle. Now, in this video, we're going to prove these, or we're going to derive the formulas for these. If this is something that you want to come back to once you've practiced, then just skip over this video and come back to it later on. All right, for those of you who are still with me, we're going to start with this picture here. So what I've got here is a right angle triangle, and it's got an angle B here. Okay, so we don't know what it is, but it's some angle B, and then I've got another right angle triangle here with a potentially different angle A. So there's another right angle here, and the angle here is A. And A and B could be the same, but they're not necessarily the same. There's also a hypotenuse of 1 on this triangle. So here's the strategy. Imagine that the origin was here. I'm going to try to find two different ways to describe the coordinates of this point up here. Basically, well, the x and the y value. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to drop a line down here, straight down, and I'm going to try to find two different ways of describing its x coordinate and two different ways of describing its y coordinate. The first thing we can do is recognize that its y coordinate here is just 1 times sine of a plus b, which is just sine of a plus b. The reason is, if we think about this large triangle here, well, sine of the angle, and the angle is a plus b, sine of a plus b is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite is this height here, and the hypotenuse is just 1. So there's one way that I could describe the height of this point. And the x value of it, so how far across is it? Well, it's just this line here, which is just, well, it's just 1 times cos of that angle A plus B. And the reason is that cos of the angle in that large triangle is the adjacent, which is this side up to here, divided by the hypotenuse. So cos of a plus b is the x coordinate, if you like, of this point, and sine a plus b is the y coordinate of this point. And I'm now going to try to find different ways to describe the x and y coordinate of this point. So I'm going to do that basically by kind of climbing up the side. So first thing to do is look at this right angle triangle here. I'm going to find a description of this length and this length. So this side here is sine A. And the reason why it's sine A is that sine of this angle, sine A, equals the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And since the hypotenuse is 1, well, this length divided by the hypotenuse of 1 is sine A. So that length is sine A. For similar reasons, this length here is just cos A, because cos of this angle here is the adjacent divided by 1, so the adjacent side is just cos A. Now looking at this triangle here, the right angle triangle on the base with the angle of B in it, what's this length here? Well, this length here is just, well, let's use trig to work it out. It's opposite to this angle B. So I know that sine B is equal to this opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, which is cos A. Which means that the opposite, which I'm interested in, is sine B cos A. So that's this length here, sine B cos A. And what about the base all the way across the bottom? Well, the base all the way across the bottom is the adjacent, so we can say that cos of B is equal to the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse, which is cos A. So that means that our adjacent is cos B cos A. I'll just write that cos A cos B. So this entire base here is cos A cos B. Okay, we're almost there. The next step in this rather complex proof is to split this triangle up like that. Okay, let's see if we can work out some of the lengths in this triangle. The first thing we want to do is actually get an angle in that triangle. So the angle we can actually get is that this angle up here must be B. Now, to see why that angle up there is B, follow this logic. Our angle down here is alternate with this one here. So that little angle in there is B, which means that this little section here is 90 minus B, which means that our angle up here is B. So what does that mean for this triangle? Well, it means that this bit on the side here is sine A, the hypotenuse, multiplied by cos of that angle, right? Because the adjacent side divided by sine A is cos B. So this height here, from here down to here, is sine A cos B. And the base of the triangle, I'm actually just going to write it down here in this little section, because that's the same as here, is going to be sine A sine B. And the reason is that's the same as this. This is the opposite side, so sine of B equals this opposite side divided by sine A. Multiply through by sine A, and this opposite side is sine A sine B. Okay, we are actually there now, because remember I described the height of this point, the y value of this point is sine A plus B. I can now describe it a different way, which is this height over here, this one here, plus this one here. So this one here is sine A cos B, sine A cos B, plus this one here, which is sine B cos A. So there we have it. That is the addition formula for sine. Okay, it's the expansion of sine A plus B. Okay, what about for cos? Well, we knew that the x coordinate was cos of A plus B at this point. Another way to describe it is this whole length across the bottom minus this little section here. So all of the length across the bottom was cos A cos B. And then I just want to subtract this little section here, which is sine A sine B. So there they are in all their glory. Those are the addition formulae for sine and cos. Okay, so here they are. What we're going to do now is just think about what would it be if it was sine of A minus B or cos of A minus B. What we do is we just imagine adding negative B and see what we get. So suppose that I said it's sine of A plus negative B, like that. Well, using my addition formula, I get sine of A cos of negative B plus sine of negative B cos of A. And now the question is, what is cos of negative B and sine of negative B? We can use features of the functions of these. So for sine, we can use the fact that it is what we would describe as an odd function, which just means that sine of any particular value, like if this was b here, well, sine of minus b is just minus whatever sine of b was. So just to write that out kind of very clearly, sine of minus b is just minus sine of b. So I can sweep through there and I can change that to minus sine b. But before I do that, let's figure out what it is for cos. The cos graph has a very different property. It's what we call an even function. And that just means it's completely symmetrical on the positive and negative side. So if cos b was here, well, cos of minus b is exactly the same thing. So cos of minus b is the same as cos b. So what that means is that sine A cos b, cos minus b is still sine A cos b, because cos of negative b is just cos b, but sine of negative b is minus sine b. So that's minus sine b cos A. So we can adapt our formula to say that if we are subtracting, so if it's plus or minus, well, then we just change this to a minus. So that's quite nice. If it's sine of A minus B, it's sine A cos B minus sine B cos A. What about for cos? Well, if it was cos of A minus B, I would have a minus B in here, but we know that cos of negative B is just cos B, so that stays the same. But this sine B here, if that was sine of minus B, that would just become minus sine B and it would make this a plus. So it's this way round with cos. Cos of A plus or minus B is cos A cos B minus or plus sine A sine B. So if it was cos of A minus B, it would be cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. We're going to do plenty of practice on this soon. Okay, so those are the full addition and subtraction formulas for sine and cos. What about for tan? Okay, so what we know about tan is that tan of A plus B is the same as sine of A plus B divided by cos of A plus B. So let's just use our new formulas and expand. So sine of A plus B is sine A cos B plus sine B cos A. And cos of A plus B is cos A cos B minus sine A sine B. Now we could leave it like that, but the convention is to express it in terms of tan. So there's a little sneaky trick we do here, which is to say, if I divide everything through by cos A, look what happens. And that's top and bottom by cos A. So on the numerator, if I do sine A divided by cos A, I get tan A. And I've still got the cos B remaining. And I've still got my sine B here. But dividing through by cos A, that's just gone. And then on the denominator, I divided through by cos A, so it just goes from that term. And here, well, sine A divided by cos A is tan A. And I've still got that sine B there. And the final step is we then divide through by cos B. Again, every single term gets divided by cos B. So it's going to disappear from this term, leaving me with just tan A. And then sine B divided by cos B is tan B. When I divide by cos B, that's just 1. And then I've still got my tan A from before. And sine B divided by cos B is tan B. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is tan of A plus B. And the full formula is tan of A plus or minus B is tan A plus or minus tan B divided by 1 minus or plus tan A tan B. And you can think through why that is the case for tan by thinking about the graph. All right, so there we have it. We've got the addition formulae for sine, cos, and tan. So let's go about using them. We're going to go and do that in the next video. I'll see you there.